What do you think is one thing the US taught you that Kenya would have never taught you?
That the US taught me process in terms of things are supposed to follow a certain path to be able to get to X. You see, in Kenya, which is a good thing and a bad thing, is there's always a guy for something. If I want a certificate of good conduct, I'll call an OCS somewhere, nowhere, you'll find a way. But in the US, you're taught the patience of like, you just go apply. If it doesn't come out, let's say it's a passport or whatever it is, there's a 1-800 number to call. There's a number for reference. And somebody for sure will call you back and follow up. Why haven't you gotten your X document? So it teaches you that shortcuts are not the best thing, because it comes back to bite your butt, whether you like it or not.
And from a Kenyan perspective, what's one thing do you think Kenya taught you that the US would have never taught you?
Hustle, man. Hustle. If Kenya, let me tell you, if you just one day go and sit somewhere in Tao and just look at the movement. People are moving with purpose because everybody is hustling. In Kenya, even the guys who are employed are hustling. You're paying payee, but you're still hustling. You're still selling some kiondos somewhere. You're still doing ABCD. These are the entrepreneurship or the entrepreneurial bug in Kenya is so alive and ripe that you staying at home and saying that andrushing your mikono juu na kusema hakuna job, which yes, times are tough, but you have to hustle whatever it is. That's why for me, even today, when I look at CVs and people have gone to JQuat and all these things, and let's say we are looking for a position to fill, that's good, well and good. But I'm more like, what have you done lately? Who are you as a person? How do you problem solve when the problem is not textbook? Because that shows that you're thinking outside the box, and Kenyans, we are gifted with that, by the way. So nowadays, even when I sit in meetings and I'm chairing them, I have been able to train my guys to be able to give a solution to the problem at hand. It's usually like, kuna ngombe ziliingia, zimeanza kukula. I'm like, oh yeah, lakini tumeongea na chief ameambia ule jamaa, because we release a lot of shambas, ameongea na ule jamaa, they are fencing, and remember the seeds we bought a little bit extra to be able to gap, because we knew that there will be an issue, maybe some will just die, won't germinate. So I'm like, that's well thought out. Then you realize that your job is very easy.
Yeah, it's a very good perspective to have, especially, I've also had the privilege of like going outside the country and living in Europe for a while. It is true in terms of everything is very systematic. Yeah. Like if it's traffic, you have to wait until it turns green, right? You go to the supermarkets, you can just self-serve yourself. So you can't even have the incentive to steal. So there's that, I think, is it ingrained since they are small? I think so, because that systematic ability of doing things in a certain way is sort of second nature to them. So I think that's something that they have on upper hand.
Yeah, and the thing is, the good thing about the systems is that it equalizes society, knowing that if I'm applying for a birth certificate, if I'm applying for whatever, whether I live in Runda or I live in Umo, we are still logging into the same system. It equalizes. And we are both going to have the same wait time or the same opportunity to get your ID, your passport, whatever it may be. The problem with when a system is dysfunctional, then you have those who have connections or have money tend to have an upper hand, You see, like, let's say, for example, if you're applying for a job and they tell you, like what we were saying, a certificate of good conduct, right? And there's a delay. Not everybody has access to call an uncle, an aunt, or a pal from wherever. Tafadhali, can I get this in next week? Now imagine that guy who has graduated uni, his job is saying, get me the certificate, and you're being told the system is down. And ameambiwa, we are hiring you, but you need to get this thing. We can't. So the guy has to wait for 2-3 weeks, a month, whatever it is, to be able to get.